what you want to become is not happening through comfortability. Most of the time when we're going, can you mentor me? What we're really saying is, I know you went through all that you had to go through to get the information you got, but can you skip me up? Can you accelerate me? I don't want to go through what you had to go through to get to where you are. Many of us are going to discover that the seasons of our lives, the moments of our lives that grew us up the most were not comfortable seasons. Nothing is more costly than your comfortability. What's going on, family? Welcome to episode 2 of the Willpower Podcast. Listen, I really am so thrilled that y'all are with me on this journey. So you know what I need you to do. I need you to like, I need you to comment, I need you to subscribe, I need you to hit the bell, I need you to share this. Make sure that everybody who knows you knows that they can be part of the Willpower Podcast, where we are striving to really only do one thing, and that is give you the tools you need, equip you with the tools you need to build a big life. And as I look through my notes right now, I'm telling you, we got an episode today. Today's episode is entitled, The Cost of Being Comfortable. That's right, the cost of being comfortable. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think there's anything more costly to a big life than somebody being comfortable. I'll say it again. I don't think there's anything more costly to a big life. I don't think there's anything more expensive. I don't think there's anything working harder against you trying to build a big life than you being committed to your own comfortability. The reality is, in order for you to accomplish many of the things that you want to accomplish, in order for you to bring into reality some of the things you've been dreaming or scheming about, in order for you to actually tangibly touch, feel, and experience a lot of the desires that are in your heart, comfortability is not going to be part of the solution. I don't know all that it's going to take. I can tell you one of the main ingredients is not comfortability. The reality is everything in your life is trying to push you into what's comfortable. As we scroll through social media, most of us aren't on TikTok, or not on Instagram, or not on whatever platform we use. We're not there to learn. It's cool when we do, but most of the time, we're not there to learn. Doom scrolling is not an educational process for many of us. We're there because it's comfortable. What we're doing in most of our days is comfortable. And the reality is how you're currently living your life is only going to produce the life you currently live. And so if there are things that you don't have in your life but you're dreaming of, if there are things you don't have in your life but you desire, the reality is you're going to have to make a sacrifice somewhere. And the truth is that sacrifice more than likely is in your level of comfortability. Point blank, period. How you start something doesn't dictate how it has to end. The way you begin is not in any way a window into how it ends or what it becomes. The reality is what you want to become is not happening through comfortability. There is no one great at anything. You pick an industry, you pick a period of time, it doesn't matter. Man, female, black, white, pink, purple, blue, it don't matter. No one great was great or became great because they were comfortable. And the truth is, as many of us are faced with some of the decisions that it takes in order to be great, because being great is not a mentality, it's a decision you make. As many of us are faced with the decisions that we need to make in order to be great, the price we have to pay to be greatness, the price we got to pay to achieve or attain this big life we're trying to build is our comfortability. Nothing is more costly than being comfortable. Nothing. That's the first thing I want you to get from me today. Nothing is more costly than being comfortable. And for some of us, the desire to be comfortable, just want to look around, make sure anybody listening. The desire to be comfortable has turned into a lifestyle of laziness. Yikes. The desire to be comfortable has turned into a lifestyle of laziness. This started out, when it started, I just wanted to be comfortable. And now you are not striving for anything. Now you are not chasing or trying to apprehend anything. You're not in pursuit of anything that is going to cause you to step outside of your comfort zone. My least favorite people in the world. I didn't say the people I don't like. I said my least favorite because they're still my favorite, but my least favorite. My least favorite people in the world are capable people who are comfortable. Because capable people who are comfortable are usually the loudest. What y'all need to do is, if I was in charge, what I would do is, if this was my company, I would do it like this. My only problem is you got the capability to be that person. You got the capability to run the company, but you're comfortable. And in order for you to achieve this greatness, I'm going to say this a million times until you get it into your head. In order for you to achieve this greatness, you cannot be comfortable. You can't be comfortable. And so many of us are unwilling to part ways with our very own comfortability. Partially because, and this is going to sound redundant, but we need to talk about it, I'm comforted by my comfortability, right? It sounds silly, but we got to address this. I'm comforted by my comfortability. And the reality is most of what I want to achieve in life, most of the bricks that I need in order to build a big life, in order to obtain those bricks, it is a painful process. I'm so sick, I can't. Oh my goodness. If one more person comes to me and goes, hey, can you mentor me? No, I cannot mentor you. No, I will not give you free information while you invest or you do nothing. The answer is no. The people who are most mentored by me, the people who are most impacted by me are the people who are also building. Point blank, period. No. If you ever have the opportunity to ask a question to somebody you look up to, the dumbest question, the biggest waste of your time and theirs, the worst thing you could say in that moment is asking the lowest level question in the world, which is, can you mentor me? Do you understand that Steve Jobs is one of my biggest mentors? I have never met that man, and he's been deceased for years, because you don't have to have proximity to who you're mentored by. The reason this frustrates me so much is because most of the time when we're going, can you mentor me? What we're really saying is, I know you went through all that you had to go through to get the information you got, but can you skip me up? Can you accelerate me? I don't want to go through what you had to go through to get to where you are. I just want to be where you are right now. So can you include me in your gravity? Can you include me in your world? You're not articulating no skill set. You're not articulating no advantage. You don't present yourself as an asset, but I will never understand people reaching out to me going, and some of y'all gonna watch this and feel personally attacked. I promise it ain't personal, but if it fits. Listen, all I'm saying is, no is my answer every single time. The answer is no. Not because I'm arrogant and distant from people, not because I don't feel like it's important to pour into people, not because people didn't pour into me. They did. But I had to get uncomfortable in order for them for this to happen. One of the greatest leaders I've ever worked under in my life is a man by the name of Chet Pete. I worked for Chet for a couple of years, and Chet called me one day, and I was sitting, you talk about comfortable, I was sitting under the gazebo in my backyard that I had built, and it had a nice little umbrella under it. I had some barbecue on the grill. I was sitting out there. I think I was watching a game or something on my TV cart. Had just set my life up. Kids running around in the backyard. Just set my life up ultra comfortable. And Chet gets on the phone with me, and I don't know what he was calling me about, but Chet's a master at the mental journey that you need to take people on, and I'm way more of a, I'm going to just tell you what I need to say. Chet takes me on this whole journey, and then at the end of this journey he takes me on, he goes, I got to be honest with you, Will. You're like, you're probably like the best hire I've ever had in my entire life. And my immediate response was like, obviously it's your boy. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy. So I ain't want to say it, Chet, but you know what I'm saying? You brought it up. He goes, not for real. You probably are. You're definitely the most talented. I said, hey, man, we can keep talking about this as much as you want to. He said, oh, for sure you're the smartest. Yeah, man. He goes, yeah, but my only tension with you is you're going to accomplish the least. And I was like, oh. He was like, yeah, you're just unwilling to be uncomfortable. So as long as what you need to do to achieve what you want to achieve is within your comfort zone, you're good to go. He said, as your leader, I guess I'm frustrated looking at you going, you could be so much further along in this organization and in life if you were just willing to be uncomfortable for a little bit. I learned a valuable lesson that day, and that lesson is nothing is more costly. Nothing. Listen to me, family. Nothing is more costly than being comfortable. That's the premise I'm trying to help you understand. Nothing is more costly than being comfortable. Here's the problem with this. You ready for the problem? For our Take 5 segment today, I want to talk to you about insight. I want to talk to you about insight. In faith-based spaces, we use this word called discernment. But whatever word you use, whichever one you're more comfortable with, what I'm really trying to talk about a little bit from a leadership standpoint is I want to equip you with this tool where you'll have the ability to see beyond what's being presented to you. Because many of us are getting tripped up in relationships. Many of us are getting tripped up financially. Many of us are getting tripped up even professionally in our workspaces because of our lack of an ability to see into something, to discern at a deeper level from what's being presented to us. Now, I happen to believe that if you will go into your bank account and give money to a Nigerian prince who's stranded in a Switzerland airport, don't have access to his bank accounts, but somehow got access to your email, I don't think you're intelligent. That's me. I think your IQ is a little bit lower. And that might be harsh for some of y'all to hear. I apologize if that's your grandmother or something like that. Or some of you. I'm just saying, I see people get scammed out of money often, and I oftentimes go, yeah, my defense, I see people get scammed, and I've heard somebody say this to me before. You stop laughing because that could be you one day. And I'm like, first of all, I don't respond to emails, text messages, phone calls from names and them numbers I don't recognize. And some of y'all weren't born in the 90s and the 80s, so you don't know nothing about caller ID has always been a part of your life. And you needed Apple to do an update to go, this is likely scam, so you would stop picking up the phone. I'm going to be honest with you. There's some people whose phone numbers I got saved in my phone I don't answer all the time. So I doggone sure ain't about to be answering somebody I don't know. But a lack of insight, a lack of discernment will have you thinking you're helping somebody who's actually harming you. And that's why this is so important. I've seen so many people get harmed when they started off thinking they were helping somebody else. And I don't want to see you continue in a cycle of poor self-stewardship, of poor leadership of yourself because you lack the leadership tool of insight or discernment. So let's talk about this. The first part to help you really practice discernment, the first thing you need to understand, you've got to be able to separate real issues from loud distractions, okay? Just because you lack planning does not mean I now have an emergency. It don't work like that. You have got to be able to separate real issues from loud distractions. We use this language all the time of discernment. You got to have insight. And oftentimes we don't give each other, or we don't equip people with practical tools that you need. I'm giving you this practical tool. You got to be able to separate real issues from loud distractions. Here's what happens sometimes with many of us. Somebody will approach us, somebody will call, and they're loud. Oh my God, something going on, and this is happening, and this is happening. Blah, blah, blah. And immediately you just get drawn into that tornado, and you got to get a little bit of, I'm going to equip you with this leadership tool right here. It's like, so hold on. You got to get a hold on in your spirit. Hold on. What? Slow down and explain it to me. And if it's an emergency and you can't slow down and explain it, then I'm not the person who can help you. Some of us lack discernment because we want to help and rescue everybody. But I'm calling you out of that. Save everybody around you. You're not the savior. Okay? Some of you can't keep a budget because you're always saving somebody who's at the mall. Somebody who's on vacation. You got to be able to separate the real issues from loud distractions. I can't pay my rent. They're going to put me out of my apartment. And I don't want to see anybody I love not have a place to live. So I don't mind giving you the money. But first of all, you're not borrowing. I'm giving it to you. That way we don't ever have to talk about. Because the last thing I need is for to let you hold $200 and you come back, ain't got my money. You know what I'm saying? And I would hate for you to say something crazy like, are you still worried about them funky little $200? Because it wasn't funky when I gave it to you. Amen. You got to learn how to separate. You still worry about them little funky $200. And now it's little and it's funky. But when you needed it, it was real. Okay. Separate the real issues from loud distractions. Number 2, you gotta spot character issues before they expose themselves. You've got to spot character issues before they expose themselves. I didn't say you got to love people less, but some of the people we love the most, we got to be able to look at their character and go, now, girl, this is your third time being short on rent. And you only been in that apartment 2 months. I don't even know how that's possible. I got to be able to spot the character. There's an issue in your character. Yeah, budgeting my time, budgeting my money, managing my energy, that's character building. So if I'm always coming up short, we got a character flaw. They would not have approved you for that apartment if you didn't have the money. So come here. It's not a money problem. That's a character issue. Yeah, you got a character issue that all your money on DoorDash, all your money on Amazon, and then a bill come and get paid, and you pick up the phone and call me. Absolutely not. I've got to be able to spot the character issues before they explode or before they expose themselves, because then I get brought into the exposure moment. Your life is falling apart now. They're getting ready to turn the lights off. They're getting ready to put me out. They're trying to repo my car. I get brought into that moment. I'm not bought into all the decisions that got made before then. And discernment is going to help you go, if I give you this money right now, I'm not opposed to giving it to you. But if I give it to you, how are we not going to be in this exact same situation 30 days from now? I've got to be able to spot the character issues before they explode. And then the last one, you got to see the motives beneath the words. You got to see the motive beneath the words. I'm going to say it one more time for some of y'all who didn't listen the first 2 times. You got to see the motives beneath the words, because there are some people who are saying the right words to you, but their motives are not right. There are some people at your job saying, I really look up to you. Oh, no, you one person I really trust. You should go in there and tell the manager how we all feel. They saying the right thing, but their motives are not correct. And one of the ways you sharpen your discernment is to listen a little less to words and start listening more for motives. I heard what you're saying, but what you really saying? Right? Sometimes I'll tell somebody, if you like it, I love it. And it can sound like agreement when really underneath it, I'm going, you are crazy. You are crazy. You like it, I love it. Sometimes I'll tell somebody, you know what? You better than me. I'll do that long dramatic pause. You know what? You better than me. When really what I'm communicating is you are not better. You're dumber than me, because there's no way I would be sitting around tolerating that. There's no way I'd be putting up with that. And if you can practice these kinds of things, you can start going, man, what's the real issue here? Not all the noise. What's the real issue? What's our real problem right now? Let's address the real problem. If we can start spotting some character issues, I didn't say a character flaw or guy. I ain't talking bad about them. I'm just going, oh, this issue keeps coming up, and this ain't money. They would not have approved you for the loan for that car if you couldn't afford it. That's not what's going on. You got to be able to see the motives beneath the words. You'll be able to have the tool of discernment or insight in your leadership toolkit to be able to help you navigate the relationships around you a little bit better. That's our take 5 for the day. Here's the problem with this. You ready for the problem? Most of us reward ourselves with comfortability. Yeah, I said it. Most of us reward. The way you reward yourself for working hard at work every day is you come home and you get comfortable. That's your reward. The way you reward yourself for a long work week is comfort. It's comfort food. It's comfort habits. You go to comfort places. Very few people in the world reward themselves with a new challenge. Yeah, the opposite of comfort isn't uncomfort or discomfort. The opposite of comfort is really challenge when it comes to you leading yourself well. The opposite of comfort is challenge. The problem is many of us reward ourselves with comfort. Many of us haven't saved the amount of money we can save, not because we don't make enough money. We too comfortable with our money. It's my money. I worked hard for it. So of course I'm going to eat over here. Of course I'm going to get some crab legs. Of course I'm going to buy some J's. Of course I'm going to do this. Of course I'm going to do that. It's my money. I earned it. And I'm not saying it's not your money, and I'm not saying you didn't earn it. All I'm saying is you're consistently choosing comfort for yourself and not challenge. And the problem is not just that you're comfortable. The problem is not just that comfortability is expensive. The problem, the real problem, the true problem is many of us are rewarding ourselves. We are rewarding ourselves with comfort. We're rewarding ourselves with comfortability. I worked hard all day long, so I'm going home. I'm sitting down. I ain't doing nothing. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not a big life. I'm not saying it's a bad life. I'm just saying that's not how you build a big life. Nothing is more costly in your life, in your quest, in your desire to build a big life. Nothing is more costly than comfort. So, what are we going to do here? What's the practical step we can all take as it pertains to dealing with the comfort in our lives? Am I telling you don't ever deserve a break? No. Am I telling you don't deserve vacation? Absolutely not. I believe in vacation. Am I saying you should never treat yourself? Absolutely not. All I'm trying to get you to understand is there's a practical way we've got to go about this. And many of us are rewarding ourselves with comfort for doing what we should do anyway. As a leader, I've led hundreds and hundreds of people in various different industries and spaces. I'm telling you, nothing frustrates me more as a leader than someone seeking a reward for a thing they should do. At my house, my kids we don't throw parties and they don't give money and gifts for getting A's and B's on their report card. They don't pay bills. All they do is go to school. This is your job. This is what you're supposed to do. Here's how you positively contribute to our family. You go to school and you be a decent human being. You be respectful to your peers and to the faculty, and you get good grades. I don't reward the behavior you're supposed to do. I'm willing to award some above and beyond stuff. Now that I'm willing to do, but I often, and part of this is on me, right? I'm not a big celebrator. And I could stand to be a little bit more celebrated as a person, as a leader. But I'm just telling you, I watch a lot of people celebrate themselves for doing stuff that's bare minimum. You're supposed to do that. If you don't do that, if you don't get up and go to work every day, you're not going to eat. Okay. I thought the reward was you got paid. But okay, if you want to sit on the couch and doom scroll for 5 hours at the end of that's not a bad life. It's just not a big life. So the real question you got to ask yourself, that you got to ask yourself is, in my previous seasons, what made me grow up the most? Yeah, my previous seasons, what made me grow up the most? When I look back at my previous seasons, what made me grow up the most? And many of us are going to discover that the seasons of our lives, the moments of our lives that grew us up the most were not comfortable seasons. They were not comfortable moments. The moments that brought us the most comfort, when you can look around and go, oh, I achieved this, or I accomplished this, or I gained this, I acquired this. The relationships that matter the most to us in our lives are not where they are. The healthiest version of them are not where they are because we were comfortable. In fact, the relationships that mean the most, you don't have an asset in your life. You don't have a resource in your life more valuable than relationships. Nothing is more valuable than people. And the people that matter the most, the relationships that matter the most, the ones that are the healthiest, the ones that you gain the most from, the ones who call you in your spirit. You could be depressed and tired and you see their name come across your phone and instantly you got the energy that you need in order to engage with them. Those kinds of relationships tell the truth. They are what they are and they are where they are because y'all have had multiple uncomfortable conversations and you have figured out a way to get through them. You have figured out a way to get over them, to get past them. That's why they're valuable. So why do we think uncomfortability rewards us with things we otherwise wouldn't have, but then turn around and choose comfort for ourselves as a reward? Most of us grew up the most in the most uncomfortable situations, in the most uncomfortable seasons. I say this all the time. My entrepreneurial spirit is a trauma response. I don't want to be poor. I don't like how it feels. I don't like how it felt to get the East Bay magazine every week, every month. and take a little marker and circle around it, knowing good and well we couldn't afford nothing in there. I don't like how that felt. So my entrepreneurial spirit that is always going to make a dollar out of a dime, that comes from a trauma response. I don't want to be there anymore. One of my sons don't notice he got a birthday coming up, and for his birthday, he getting a business. Him and his brother about to be outside in my driveway washing cars. I don't know if we're going to call it the Suds Brothers or something. Brother Buckets or something. We figure something out. We're going to call it something. But these jokers getting up and doing something because out of a response to the trauma that poverty brings to you. And I'm not saying my parents were broken. I'm saying I'm the middle child of 12 kids. That's a lot of people to provide for. My entrepreneurial spirit is a trauma response. So much of my childhood was financially uncomfortable that I'm just determined I'm not going to live like that. My parents did the best they could. I love them deeply. They did the best they could with what they had. I'm going to do better out of response to them. Out of respect to them, I'm going to do better. My dad's no longer living, but if I wasn't doing better, my mom, some of y'all know my mom, she would not be as proud of me as she is. Her expectation of me is that I would do better, understanding that the uncomfortable seasons, listen, parents, the uncomfortable seasons that my parents didn't come and rescue me out of, helped grow me up. Comfort can no longer be your reward. It can no longer be your reward, man. You got to start rewarding yourself with challenge. How can I challenge myself to think higher? How can I challenge myself to get into a room I don't currently have access to? How can I challenge myself to save some money that I know I'm supposed to save? I haven't started saving yet. You've got to begin to challenge yourself. How can I develop this skill? Some of y'all are mad that you're not getting paid what you deserve to get paid at your job. And I'm telling you, if you would just get on YouTube and learn how other people are using a skill you got that you ain't doing nothing with, you could have been started a passive income side hustle that turned into how you provided for yourself on a regular basis. The first time I paid a balloon company, and it was a company, but it was just one woman who worked for herself. The first time I paid her for a party, and I did the math in my head, if she doing 3-4 parties a weekend at the price that I just paid her, she make more than everybody coming to this party. And all she did was make the balloons. So you ain't even got to be no skill that is. I'm not pooping. I ain't crapping on the balloon lady. I'm just saying the balloon lady out here hustling. So can you. The situations in your life that grew you up the most are not the situations that are comfortable, because nothing is more costly. Nothing is more costly than your comfortability. I'm not saying being comfortable is a bad life. I'm just saying it's not going to help you build a big life. Well, you know how we close these episodes? By asking this one question: what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? If comfortability is costing you the big life you want to build, I'm asking you, what you gonna do? Can I give you this suggestion? Can I lift this up to you that maybe you take this and actually apply it to your life? The problem with comfortability isn't that it keeps you from setting goals. The problem with comfortability is that it prevents you from reaching your goals. And most of us are comfortable not reaching our goals because our goals are private. You ain't told nobody yet. So if this is you and you're listening, you're going, nah, I want to build a big life. I'm asking you this question: what are you going to do? And if you don't know what to do, take this recommendation. Here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Hear me. Make your next set of goals public. Don't just post them somewhere online. I think that's wise. But tell somebody. Now, don't tell somebody who's also lazy. You got to tell that one friend that you know is going to hold you accountable. That you know is going to go, oh, I thought we were saving money. No, we going to Chili's. You're going to go ahead and stay home because remember, you got to save some money. Remember, you stacking up right now. So you're not going to you stay home. We'll tell you how it went. We'll send you pictures. You got to tell that kind of friend who ain't afraid to hurt your feelings. And if you don't have a friend that's afraid to hurt your feelings, that's not afraid to hurt your feelings, you better go find one. You got to make your goals public. That way you can build a big life by not selling yourself short through comfortability. Well, family, I hope this episode number 2 was helpful for you. You know what I'm going to ask you to do right here. I need you to like, I need you to comment, I need you to subscribe, I need you to share, I need you to hit the bell, I need you to do all those things so more people around you can begin the journey of building a big life. I'll see y'all for the next episode.